Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a lace front wig install on my niece. She got this wig from Amazon, I think, and it is a 32-inch red, burgundy, whatever you want to call it, deep wave frontal wig. So first, of course, I'm always going to get started with my braid down. And I'm going to do the same braid pattern that I always do for my wigs. Do that braid around the perimeter, and then I'm going to start braiding my straight backs and connecting them to the back. And I went ahead and I fast forwarded this part because I already did a detailed video of how I do my braid down. So if you would like to see how I do it in depth, go back to my first YouTube video. Not really my first YouTube video, but the first YouTube video that I did since I started back, and go ahead and watch it, and I will break it down step by step on how I do my braid down videos. But yeah, we're going to get right into the install. This is the braid down. After I finish the braid down, I'm just going to oil her scalp real good with the Envy oil. And then I'm going to slick her edges down in the front and up in the back, just so I can make sure that no hair is peeking out of her wig. And of course, I'm using my Got To Be gel to do that. And once I slick it down, I'm going to proceed to put my cap on. I didn't go in depth on the cap either because, like I said earlier, I already did an in-depth video of how I do my cap, so I'm going to just get right into After the glue is completely dry on the cap, I go ahead and I cut it off. And once I cut it off, I'm just going to cut that little excess band off. Not the whole band, just a little extra piece that's hanging. And then I'm going to tuck the rest of it right above the anchor braid in the back. After I do that, I'm going to go ahead and apply my makeup and 3 layers of glue. On camera, I only applied 1 layer, but I went back and applied the other 2, so don't worry about that. I did 3. So make sure you do 3. And before you apply the glue, let me not forget to mention, make sure you clean your client's skin and add some sort of level of skin protect. I use Got To Be spray. You can use products that are specifically designed for skin protect. I always use Got To Be spray. I ain't never had no problems with it. But yeah, we're going to get right into it. Apply 3 layers of glue. Let it dry a little bit. Usually when I do wigs, while I'm letting my wigs dry, I always go ahead and I pluck my frontals. I know a lot of people like to have their clients come in like a couple of days earlier to drop their wigs off. I never make my clients do that because I know I have a pretty busy schedule, so I'm pretty sure they have a pretty busy schedule, and I don't want them to go out of their way to have to drive all the way to my shop just to drop wigs off. And plus, I have like some clients who drive like an hour to an hour and a half away to come and get their hair done by me, and I don't want them to have to make that drive multiple times throughout the week. So yeah, whenever I'm doing these parts that requires like my client sitting under the dryer or the wig drying, etc., that's when I take my time to go ahead and pluck the wig. So this is me in normal speed. The rest of the video was kind of sped up 2 times speed, but this is me in normal speed showing you guys how I pluck my wigs. one of these videos I'm going to do a detailed plucking video, but yeah, so I went ahead and I plucked it. I always go back and use my hot comb just to hot comb it to the back, just so I can see exactly how it's gonna look when I put it on my client's head. Because you know, like sometimes I do pluck while it's wet, but I find that when it's dry and I use my hot comb, it gives me a more realistic look. Because once I put it on the client's head, of course, I'm gonna use my hot comb and it's gonna be dry. So doing it like this, it just ensures that I know exactly what it's gonna look like. And then after I finish plucking, I'm gonna go ahead and brush all that hair out that I just plucked out. And then I'm gonna take my shears and do a jagged line across the front of the frontal, super duper close to the hairline, just to make sure that there's no excess lace. And yes, I do always cut my lace before I apply it. I just found out that it is better for me and it's just easier for me that way. So this is what it looks like after I pluck and cut the frontal, and then I go ahead and cut that little back piece of lace off and proceed to place the wig on her head and basically push it in. So like I said, it's completely dry, and now I'm just gonna place the wig on her head, line it up with her hairline, and we're gonna go from there. Whenever I place my wigs on my client's hair, I always pull the lace slightly in front of the glue. And I always do that just to make sure that there is no glue exposed. I'd rather have to cut off more lace, because once it's glued down, if there's lace exposed, it gets really tacky and it's kind of hard to take it off. So I'd rather cut off a little bit of the lace than have extra glue. So once I part out those sections of hair that I'm going to cut off later, I'm going to go around her ear and cut that part off just to make sure that it fits snug around her hair. And I'm going to do that on both sides. And after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and place the wig down and start to mold the wig down to her hair. After I make sure that the band is secure, this hair in the front, I really don't care about it at all because I'm cutting it off when I cut the lace. But I don't want that hair just draping out in her face. So I just go ahead and I cut that part off. Keep in mind, this part is not baby hair. Like, I'm going to cut all the lace off that surrounds that part. So now I'm just going to go ahead and part off her hair, and I'm doing a side part. Whenever I part my wigs, I just move the band up in that section just so I can see exactly where my part is starting. And then I'm doing a curved side part. And after I part it off where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and use my foam to mold it down. And I'm going to place her underneath the dryer for about 15 to 20 minutes, just depending on how long it takes to dry. And I'm using Nairobi foam. Whenever you're using foam for a mold, I always redefine my part after I use the foam, just to make sure that I have the hair parted properly. It's kind of like when braiders use like a gel or edge control or something to make sure that their parts are super straight. I do the same thing. Instead, I just use foam. And then I go back and I apply foam all across her hair just to mold it down and to make sure that my wig is extra flat. And then whenever you're doing the side part, make sure you have a defined part across the back too. One, to make sure you cover the track, and then two, to make it look like scalp all the way around the wig. And then I'm just gonna place another wig cap on top of it and then sit my client under the dryer. Once she's up from the dryer, I go ahead and I spray it with a little bit of Got2b spray, and then I use my comb just to comb it out. The reason why I spray it with Got2b spray is to loosen it up, because after I put the foam on and place her under the dryer, it's going to be a little hard. The Got2b foam is not wet, but it just provides some sort of liquid to like loosen up the mold a little bit, and then I just take my hot comb and I go ahead and I press it out a little bit more. Once I finish combing out the mold, I go ahead and take the band off, and then those parts that I said I was going to cut off, I just go ahead and use my shears and continue to do a jagged edge around the parts that I no longer need. However, if you get to a point to where you feel like, hey, I think I might need this lace, if I cut this part off, it's going to look weird, just go ahead and take some of your boho or whatever type of glue you prefer, dab it on the back of your hand, and take the end of your red tail comb and place it right underneath the wig where you need the lace to lay. As soon as I finish cutting off all the excess lace, I'm going to go ahead and part out for my baby hair. Like I said earlier, my niece does not know how to comb hair, so I do her baby hair super minimal. I'm just going to swoop this little front part around to make the part flow, and then I'm going to do some little sideburns, but I'm not going to do too much on the other side. Like on this side, I'm just going to do the sideburn and this little one swoop, and on the other side, I'm only going to do a sideburn. So yeah, I go ahead and I cut the hair that I'm going to use for my baby hair, and then I take my baby flat iron and I curl it in the direction that I want it to go. And I always just like flatten them down with my fingers to make sure they're not too long or not too short, just so I can know exactly where it's going to lay when I start to swoop. And then I alternate between my edge brush and my red tail comb, swooping it around. And it takes me a little while to do baby hair just because, I don't know, really, like, I just be swooping and swooping until it look right. So however long it take you, that's how long it take. If they rushing you, they just need to hold on, because do you want your baby hair to be popping or not? Once I have my baby hair swooped in the direction that I want them to go, I go ahead and use my blow dryer to make sure everything is nice and dry. And I'm doing her baby hair super dry and super molded down because she doesn't know how to do hair, and I just want to make sure that she's able to maintain her look when she's at home and by herself. After I do that, I take my mister and I spray my hair down a little bit, and then I take some Nairobi foam to help me define my curls, and I just brush that all through her hair. Once I finish that step, I'm gonna go back in with my wax stick, and then hit it with the hot comb a little bit just to make sure that I don't have any flyaways. And then after that, I'm pretty much done. And then I think my niece was really feeling herself, because before I even got to take my own picture, she was already flicking it up in the seat. But like always, we got into the Royal Envy sign and took a couple of pictures and videos. It looks a little different in color only because there's different lighting. But yeah, this is the final result. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. And make sure y'all don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank y'all for tuning in. Bye.